Now let's see how it works. I'm going to plug this lamp into the kilowatt, and we see that it's using just about 60 watts. After a while, we'd have a pretty good idea of how many kilowatt hours it uses. Now let's take out this 60-watt bulb and replace it with a compact fluorescent bulb. We get the same amount of light, but we're using much less electricity. You can use the kilowatt to monitor usage all over your home or office. You might be surprised at how much energy some appliances use, or how much you can save by changing your usage patterns. What really surprises people is how much energy some appliances consume when they're not even in use. For example, this TV set is drawing 6 watts of power, even though it's turned off. Many electronics have circuitry inside that draws a little bit of juice as long as they're plugged in. For example, anything with a clock is going to use a constant trickle of power. Microwaves, stoves, coffee makers, bread machines.
High school a year early. The words of one of her teachers best conveys her spirit and enthusiasm for life and knowledge. She writes, Kelsey's interests are varied, spreading from art, photojournalism, languages, and writing to a great interest in science, and give you our best wishes during your studies at University of Alaska Fairbanks. Best luck to all of you. Now let's give all these outstanding students a big round of applause.
I can answer that question. First off, the 4.5% is basically to start paying for the North Pole turbine, okay? And we feel that North Pole turbine was actually an excellent business decision because remember back in December when your bill went down by a penny a kilowatt hour? It did when in COPA. COPA went down by a penny.
What Silicon Valley is doing about the gas line and how they're encouraging the gas line press, if they have any thought of doing a consortium of utilities to help build the gas line. I presume there would be a substantial savings, long-term savings, and fuel costs if you did have an interest in the gas line.
I can take that one too. There's actually, have you heard of the Interior Issues Council? It's like a think tank in town. I'm actually the chairman of the Energy Committee. We put together a very interesting report that looks at all sorts of technology, different energy supplies, and one that came out the best would be a gas supply. Now the question you have to ask yourself, and there's 2 questions. What's best for Alaska, and what's best for Alaskans when you ask about the pipeline? In my opinion, the best thing for Alaska would be to have a big pipeline come through, all the oil or gas being sold at some high price to somebody else, and all the money goes down to Juneau. I'm on my soapbox, so I apologize already. The best thing for Alaska would be to get low-cost gas delivered to us. And that's a bullet line from Prudhoe Bay to Fairbanks to Anchorage, or some combination like Angus looking at that will go from Prudhoe to Fairbanks to Valdez with a tap to Anchorage. And so yes, you definitely involved in that. And our goal is to try and get low cost or stable cost fuel to our member co-op right here.
5 years. How long has this $15 credit been on? And when will it go up like gas?
Thank you. Good. Can I ask you a question, Jane? This is a $15 member service charge you're talking about? Okay, from memory, that came into effect about, let's see, I'm gonna jump to it,
Asking for rate increases. I understand fuel and things like that, but we never talk about what is being retired and what debt. So here you are asking for another 4.5% increase. And then you say, okay, we're going to retire debt, you know, because of the new and we're new turbine and things like that. I understand
30 years old will have no debt on it. It goes away. The percent right now, we're about 10% of our cost. 10 to 15% of our cost is debt. Debt paying off principal, and about another 10 or 15% is the interest on that debt. So about 30% of our cost is that component. 65% of our cost, I believe, is just fuel, just buying the fuel, and the remainder would be O&M, or basically labor to keep the doors, lights on, and all the people running them. 2 years away from being totally off the books. It's about 32 years old now. It's built in 76 and 75. So we're getting out to those big turbines, but North Pole was much cheaper than the one we just added. So when you make that jump, it's an incremental jump to continue on into the future.
That seems substantial.
I can comment on the large commercial. You're right, I think it's $167 for the one service. But that, again, is all computed when you go down and look at all your costs, look at the cost causer, cost payer, make sure it's the right person paying the right amount. Those are all given down and gone through the board and down to the RCA, and the RCA Plus is the whole philosophy of the rate structure.
We're doing the sound here tonight. I think the sound is better than any year since I've been here, and they're often the unsung heroes. So if you feel the same way, please feel free to give them a clap. Video folks, this fellow standing right in front of me. Being able to communicate is a really important thing, as I've mentioned here. And I'd also like to suggest that there has to be some better ways for board members to keep in contact with the people they represent. And I've offered some suggestions from everything. If you have 40% or so people signed up with e-bill pay, you have some electronic means to communicate back with them. Be able to have the board members talk to their constituents directly without having to go through either Ruralite. It was really nice to actually be able to have them introduce themselves tonight. I know they're out in the hall, but to have some recognition right here. They spend a lot of time on Golden Valley issues. They're very knowledgeable. I'd like to have them be able to communicate with their members, whether it be electronic means, a newsletter, district meetings like we used to have. I think that everybody would benefit from two-way communication. And that's really the substance of my concern and my question and my request. Thank you.
Thank you, Kerry. Out there by the cookie area there, and I believe there's somewhere else also, that you can put your comments, and those comments are going to go directly to the board.
We don't.
Nope. John, you need to speak into the mic.
So last year was artificially low. This year is a normal number.
Is there any bad debt expense?
Yes, but our bad debt expense is very minimum. It's $200,000 a year for us. On revenues of 160.
Now it's my pleasure to congratulate once again our first $500 winner, and now, Kelly, if you'll draw for another $500 winner. Ann Finkla, F-I-N-K-L-E-A. Are you here?
Man.
William Joyner.
Going.
Is he here?
No, he's not. No, he's not. Keep going. Yeah, goodbye.
For $1,000, Mark Weibel, or Rosemary Weibel.
They love too.
$1,000.
I told you they left already.
Anybody who knows her, talk to her tomorrow.